Once upon a time, in a remote district of Rajasthan, lived a man constantly troubled by one problem or another, never content with his life. One day, he learned of a sage visiting his city with his caravan. The man decided to seek the sage's wisdom. He went to see the sage in the evening, and after waiting for a while, he got his audience. He expressed his misery to the sage. "I am constantly plagued by problems, office stress, health issues, family troubles. Please show me a way to end all my troubles and lead a peaceful, happy life." The sage smiled and said, "Son, I will give you a solution tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, can you do a small favor for me?" The man agreed. The sage continued, "We have 100 camels in our caravan. I want you to look after them tonight. Once all the 100 camels sit down, you too can go to sleep." Saying this, the sage went into his tent, and the man went to look after the camels for the night. The next morning, the sage came to the man and asked, "Son, did you sleep well last night?" The man looked miserable and replied, "I couldn't sleep a wink. I tried my best, but all the camels wouldn't sit down at once. Some would sit down on their own, some wouldn't sit down even after numerous attempts, and if one of them did sit down, another would get up." The sage chuckled and said, "If I'm not mistaken, this is what happened last night. 1. Many camels sat down on their own. 2. Some sat down due to your efforts. 3. Some didn't sit down despite your efforts, but later you found that they sat down on their own after some time." The man replied, "Yes, that's exactly what happened." Continuing his explanation, the sage said, "Now, did you understand something? Our life problems are similar. 1. Some resolve on their own. 2. Some resolve with your efforts. 3. Some don't resolve despite your efforts. You should leave these problems to time. They will resolve when the time is right. Last night, you experienced that despite all your efforts, all the camels couldn't sit down at the same time. When you made one camel sit down, another would stand up somewhere else. Similarly, when you solve one problem, you'll see another problem cropping up. That's life. Problems are a part of life, sometimes less, sometimes more. Happiness and sadness are mere illusions. Problems are a part of life, but it doesn't mean you should keep thinking about them. Keep moving forward, setting your problems aside. Learn to progress towards the purpose of life, self-realization.